Hey everyone. So, the first thing I would like to discuss is Dunbar's number. I first heard of this back in 2007 on a satirical website called cracked.com. The article I was reading is called What is a Monkey Sphere? The article basically tries to draw a parallel between Dunbar's number and the reason things like racism and sexism and all of this discrimination and like a lot of bad things in the world exist. For those of you who don't know, Dunbar's number is basically the maximum amount of people that we are able to interact with before we start to see people as a faceless non-being. So imagine, if you will, a circle, and that circle has like rings going out of it. So, in the very center of that circle, that represents like your closest relationships. These are your loved ones, your family. These are the ones that you make your life decisions off of. These are the ones that you try and provide for, that you constantly think about when you're going about your day to day life. And the further you get outside of those rings, the less of an impact those people have on you until you get to the very outside of the circle, which instead of actual people, it becomes stereotypes and buckets that you've created in your head, which are stand-in for people. So when you start like looking at a person that you just met and you don't know anything about them, you'll generally put them in one of those buckets. Maybe it's based on their race, their political affiliation, the amount of money that they make, what video games they play. It can really be any sort of thing. It's just a bucket that you have basically created an opinion and assigned traits to, and they get stuck in that bucket until they get deeper inside of your monkey sphere, quote unquote. So I don't necessarily agree with everything that was said in the article. However, the thing that I walked away from with that I felt was very important to my development over the past like decades now was the understanding that there is a biological mechanism within us that kind of forces us to start making stereotypes out of people. So, over the past couple of decades, I've really endeavored to try and see people for their individual and try and be conscious of when it is I am projecting a trait or something onto somebody, or if it is actually them, that's actually a trait that's associated with them. I try to be more conscious of who that person really is. I find this very important for two reasons. One, you don't want to project a good trait onto somebody where it's like, oh, they're this thing, and then later on, since you projected that trait onto them, they have the opportunity to disappoint you by showing you they actually do not have that trait. On the other hand, if you project like negative things onto somebody, it could rob you of the opportunity to learn something new or to experience something new because you were kind of put off and didn't give that person a chance based on the stereotypes that you projected onto them. I'm going to link the article down below. I think it reads a little bit better on mobile than it does a web browser, but it's a 2007 website, and the HTML, I think the containers that they use are kind of janky, so it looked kind of weird whenever I looked at it on the browser. But if you want to give that a read and then come back and discuss the article here, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Bye.